It's Friday, December 12th, 2025, and this is the Washington Times front page. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Congress appears unlikely to enact any health care law before year's end when Enhanced Affordable Care Act premium subsidies expire. The prospects were dim, Lindsay McPherson reports, after the Senate rejected a Democratic bill to extend the subsidies for 3 years without changes, and a Republican alternative that would redirect taxpayer dollars to tax-exempt health savings accounts. Next week is the last week Congress is scheduled to be in session for the year, and the last opportunity to pass something before the pandemic expansion of the Obamacare premium tax credits expires on December 31st. A federal judge ordered the Trump administration to immediately release Kilmar Abrego Garcia, ruling that the migrant's detention violates his rights. Stephen Dinan reports Judge Paula Zinnes said the government has never produced a deportation order to show that Abrego Garcia faces imminent removal. She said his arrest and continued detention, therefore, weren't justified. His lawyers said that he was freed just before 5 p.m. Thursday evening from a processing center in Pennsylvania. They said he planned to return to his family in Maryland. Abrego Garcia's case became a major cause for Democrats who rallied to his defense after he was arrested and flown back to El Salvador in March, despite an immigration judge's order that he not be returned to his home country. Space Force Association leaders have announced the creation of a space-focused think tank and research center to better educate Americans about the importance of space in everyday life. Ben Wolfgang reports Space Force Association President and COO Bill Wolf said the center will help bridge the knowledge gaps among policymakers, private industry, and military officials. Advocates say the center will provide an environment for testing and validating policy ideas and concepts tailored explicitly to the Space Force. Senior officials told Congress the government has identified 18,000 known or suspected terrorists who reached the U.S. during the Biden administration. Stephen Dinan reports National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent said during a House Homeland Security Committee hearing, the 18,000 are just the ones his agency has been able to identify so far. At the same hearing, Democrats repeatedly confronted DHS Secretary Kristi Noem with video of deportees or, in person, relatives of those arrested or deported. That included a video link with Sejun Park, a Purple Heart recipient who was shot twice while serving with the Army in Panama in 1989 and who was deported to South Korea by the Trump administration. And finally, nuclear-capable U.S. B-52 heavy bombers took to the skies over the Sea of Japan 2 days after the U.S. verbally sided with Japan in its quickly escalating confrontation with China. Andrew Salmon reports the show force followed joint aerial exercises in the region by Chinese and Russian aircraft on Wednesday. South Korea and Japan separately scrambled fighters that day, although the drills took place in international airspace between South Korea and Japan, as well as east of Japan. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.